Hello everyone. Today we continue working on the challenges. The challenges that we have for this session are more difficult actually. For example, for some of them we work over some customized tooltips, then we do some visualization with R and Python through PowerBI. Okay, so let's look at the first challenge. Expectation from you is growing. Now your manager wants another dashboard consisted of a pie chart for the profit of each segment of a region. Okay, this is what means we need a pie chart for that. So, okay, 2 funnel charts for sales and profit for all the subcategories of each region, which you already have done it before. And a 3 chart for quantity of each subcategories of the regions. Okay. In addition, you should provide tooltip that shows annual trend of the sale and its equivalent regression line over the time. Okay, so as you see here, we have a kind of more sophisticated tooltip, which instead of just showing a like blank, like grayish information, it has a table which shows the sales, and there's a dotted line which shows that it's trend. Okay, so let's open Power BI. I imported data. The data is the same sample superstore. Yeah, it might take a little bit, but just wait. Okay, first is creating a pie chart for profit of each segment of the region. So this is the pie chart. I'm looking for profit of the segment in the regions. So as you see now, when I hover my mouse on each region, there's a kind of grayish blackish tooltip that provides some information. But as you know, we go more advanced this time. So click on the white spot, one of the like a white place in the Power BI. Now we need to make 2 funnel charts. This is the first one, which maybe we can go for sales of the regions. Let me just take it here. I can resize it a little bit. Then second funnel chart. This time I look for profits in each region. Profit region. Okay. So let's make a 3-map chart. So for 3-map chart, this is the one. I can drag it here. Let's just expand it a little bit. I need quantity of subcategories. and the larger group is categories. Again, here, as you see, the highest quantities for binders within office supplies. In furniture, the highest one is furnishing, and for technology, the highest quantities for phones. Okay, so this is the first step. Now we want to work on some sophisticated tooltip instead of this like blackish, grayish thing that you have here. So what you should do is basically you need to make a page, make that figure on that page, and then assign it to the tooltip that you have here. So we don't want to have this like simple tooltip. We want to have create a figure and then assign it to that. So let's work on it. Let me just rename it as tooltip page. Then I make a area chart. In that area chart, the axis is order date. The value is sale. Also, I want to assign a trend line. So go to train, add, and now you see it's like a regression line actually. Now we need to tell Power BI the whole of the page here is a tooltip. So just click on the right side out of that figure, go to the format, get to the format, and in the page size, just click, change it from 16 to 9 to tooltip. And in the page information, just turn on the tooltip. So as you see, it's a little off. So click inside and just let's resize it. So the tooltip would be fit into the tooltip section. Now again, click on the white space out of this figure. So now in the value part, you see the word of tooltip. So now we want to assign the tooltip and use it for some variables to explain them, to explain their sales. So I can say, let's assign it to category. So for each category, I see it such a tooltip. Maybe you can do even for region or even segments. So this tooltip then show annual sales for each segment, category, and region. So let me go back to page 1. Look, now when I take my mouse on each subcategory, I see this is sale. I do same for region and segments. Okay, so you can do some, you can play with this formatting thing, and you can just change color, font, and do more, basically make it cuter. So let's look, if you see the video later, so you can pause anytime in case you need to work on it. Maybe you can pause the video, play by yourself, and then unpause, resume the video, and just see the remaining challenges. Okay, let's look at the next challenge. This is still about dashboards. Now the manager wants to have another view on the performance of the corporation. They ask to exclude the pie chart, and for the funnel chart, change region to segment. Also, they want to have a tool to focus on the performance of each state and city in different time periods. So they want to slice out some part of the map, like city states, and also they want to look at different periods. They want to slice out the time units. As a practice, we report the statement with the worst sale and profit in Massachusetts within 2018 and 2019. Okay, so let's go to our dashboard. So now what should I do? So I'm using slicer right now. So one slicer for slicing out a part of a map. So I want state and city. I look over the, some part of the map in Massachusetts. And also want to slice out time. So let's click on white space and slicer. So let's for time slicer, we look over this time. Change the size. You don't see the effects right now because I need to populate the map. So let's bring back our funnel chart. So we have, but this time we want to look at those sales and profit of the segment. So one funnel chart here, this profit of segments. Another funnel chart. This time, sales of segments. Segments. So let me just, for example, click on Alabama. Do you see? Now we just see the statistics for Alabama. And also I can maybe just look at 2018. So I go for first day of January to the last day of December 2019. Here we want to look over Massachusetts. So let me just this time select okay, so from 2018 to 19, just on Massachusetts, the most profitable segment is consumer, and the worst one is corporate. They're almost same for both sales and profit. As you see, I still have that advanced tooltip because I just assign to any segment, region, category. So let's see what have in Massachusetts. So we have Andover, Cambridge, up to, and unfortunately we don't have Worcester to look at, but let's just see what happens. Marlborough is pretty close to Worcester, so yeah, they just have consumer products. Cambridge, oh, interesting, just home office. So let me just select whole of Massachusetts. Okay, so we still have the that tree map. So let me just select the tree map. Take it here. Category for group. I want to look over quantity within each subcategory. Still, the information that you see here is applied to tree map 2. So as you see, making dashboards in Power BI sounds much easier than Tableau. Tableau is not actually difficult, but it's still, I think, in Power BI is easier. But this is my style. Maybe you end up seeing that maybe Tableau is easier for you. That's totally fine. So, okay, as a practice, you put the segment with the worst sale and profit in Massachusetts. Segment with the, okay, so corporate is the worst profitable, consumer is the most profitable. However, in the sale, the consumers is still you have the most sale, but in terms of profit home office, you're not doing well. Is the least profitable section in the state of Massachusetts between 2018 to 2019. Okay, now let's look at our next challenge. You're pretty sure that later your manager might use the previous dashboard and ask you to provide the order data, meaning order ID, date, sale, and profit for auditing purposes. Yeah, they want to see what happened actually. For example, in the previous dashboard, report the order data of consumer segment and office supplies in 2018 and 19 for Lawrence, Massachusetts. So consumer and office supply. Okay, so let's go here. So I'm selecting consumer. Then I press Control and select office supplies. Then in Massachusetts, I just want to look at Lawrence. So this is the Lawrence information. Again, office consumer. So what happened? Let me just delete this again. Okay, so yeah, let me just select Lawrence, then I select consumer, press Control and select home offices. So in profit is the last two sections, in the sales is the first and last section. That should be fine. 2018 and 19 the time. Right click, show data point as a table. So I have so many columns, but the columns I want is I want to keep segment, I want to keep profit, order ID, ship mode, I don't like it. Consumer ID, I don't want it. You can keep, no, not customer, not country region, not city. Not a state, because you already know where are they from. No region, maybe category, subcategory, that should be fine. Or you can just play with the column, which column you think might need it for later. Then here you can back to the report, and yeah, you can play with that. Maybe let's say what happens if you select whole of Massachusetts, home office, and customer product, maybe. Let's say data point as a table. Yeah, we have like different number of records this time. As you see, all the states are Massachusetts. Again, for backing to report, you can just click on it and you back to the report. If you might remember, after selecting those columns, you can also on the three dots and export the data. You can just name it with any name that you like and just save all of those records as a CSV file. Let's look at the next challenge. Your employee wants to investigate the correlation between profit, sale quantity, and discount. Find the correlation through a visualization made through R script. Maybe let's just change it to width. I think could make more sense. But yeah, now as you see, you can even use R script within Power BI, and you can use also benefit from all the visualization that available through R. I think if your major is analytics and maybe some accounting, you should know how to work with R. But again, this is not as a part of this course. It's not my expectation. But if you think you can do visualization with R, that's cool. So how to do that? So let me go back here, make a new page. As you see, there's a big R here. So when you click on it, it asks, do you want to enable script visuals? You say yes. But just keep in mind, you should have R already installed on your system. Basically, Power BI use the engine or the R version that you already have and just incorporate within itself. So, but how to install R? Let me just go to the Google. You just search for download R. You can install the latest version from here. Oh, just click here on the not news. Instead of that, just click on download R. There's several links, all of them works, so just pick one of them. I'm using Windows system, so download R for Windows. Just basically just follow the link, and the R software would be downloaded on your system. I don't want to just do all the steps of R installation. So I am pretty sure that if you know how to work with R, you should know how to install it. But I just want to show one step that some of you might miss. So let me just, basically, I just want to know where my R programming software is installed. Let me just go to download page. Well, let me click on R again. You press next, but just keep in mind where does your R would be installed. This is the address that you want to work with that. So but why? So if you go to Power BI, go to Files, then go to Optional Settings, and again to Options. go to R scripting. So look, do you see C program files R-412? This is the location that my R is existed. This is very important because Power BI is a smart software, but it's not super smart. So if there's a wrong address here or there's no address, just come here, press other, and browse to the location that you know that your software is installed. For example, I go to C, program files, R412, and I press OK. So now I'm telling my Power BI where should look for the instance of the R. If you don't put it here, if you don't introduce the address of, or your Power BI couldn't find it, you won't be able to run R scripts and R visualization within Power BI. So just press OK and let your Power BI knows where is the address. Now let's work with the figure that we are looking for. We want to do the correlation. So just keep in mind, for similar to Python, you need to introduce or install some packages that you work with. Here, I'm working with the package of CorePlot. So CorePlot, I'm using for correlation plot. But how you install it, again, just open your instance of R. Here, just type install.packages CorePlots, or any other packages that you want to work with. Press enter. Just pick one of those servers. And now R is trying to install that package on my system. Again, if you already know how to work with R, I think this makes a lot of sense for you. I'm just reviewing this with you. And I'm pretty sure people who are using R, probably you know that RStudio makes your life easier. You can even install the package through RStudio. Let me to go back to Power BI. So yeah, so now I have everything's ready. I installed R, I installed the package that I want to work with. And I also tell Power BI where is my R instance or where I installed my R software. Now we need to just drag and after selecting the R, we just need to drag and drop the columns I want to work with. I want to work with profit, quantity, sales, and discount. So profit, quantity, sales, and discount. So as you see here, my R script editor just typed some pre-codes. No worries. These codes are created by R, and without them, we cannot do any R scripting. So it should be there. It's just some prerequisite created by Power BI. But just keep in mind all of the values that I have here on the right side. These are summary values. For example, like mean, median, average, those kind of things. We need to just convert to this original version. We don't want to work with the summarized data. So what can I do? Next to the variable name, there is an arrow looking down. Just press on it. And instead of sum, change it to don't summarize, because this is not the way that you do correlation. So you should work with the original data, not just summation of all data points. So same for quantity. Don't summarize. For sale, don't summarize, and same for discount. So now, as you see on the green side in the editor, so data frame is the order table that I brought in, and with that data.frame parentheses profit quantity sale discount, Power BI just picking those columns and just putting it into a variable with the name of dataset. Then with the unique, you just work on the unique data points. You shouldn't have any replication. And that now from line 7, I can just work with my codes. So I put the codes here. You can just copy paste all of them, or just the one that is has different color. So select, right click, copy. So I'm copy the codes, come here, and just when you click on script editor and just Ctrl V, and now have all of the codes ready. So this is just show how it works. So dataset is the name of new column. So with this, I'm just still selecting all of them. It's not necessary to do that. So maybe you can even exclude line 9 instead of com, just use dataset, but that should be fine. Then first I'm calculating the correlation. Second, I'm just basically plotting that correlation. Again, you can do any type of codings you want, but this is like just a sample visualization that I'm doing through R. So here, just click on the play button and just wait a little bit. Yeah, this is a correlation plot, and you can see, so it changes from -1 to 1. So the highest correlation with itself, but as you see, there's not that much of correlation. I don't see significant correlation between those variables. It's very interesting. So there is some correlation, but not really that much significant between like sale, quantity, discount, and profits. As a next challenge, we do something similar in Python. The pre-steps are pretty similar. So you press and make a new page. Here you click on Python, expand it. Oh, we forgot just one step before. So you need to install Python on your system. So just install Python. You click on download Python, the latest version here. Similar to R, just click and press next, 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 but you just need to know where you stored or where you installed that version of Python. Then, again, in the file optional settings, go to options, Python scripting, and this is the location that I have my instance of Python. For you, it might be different. Again, if you don't see here, so as you see, I have Anaconda, Python 39, and like other instance of Python. If it's not there, just press OK. Press select other and browse to where you install Python. Otherwise, Power BI may or may not be able to run Python code in your system. Now, similar to before, you need to just drag and drop the variables you want to work with. I want to work with the profit, quantity, sales, and discount. Then instead of working with the summarized data, I want to work with the actual data. So instead of sum, press don't summarize. Same for quantity. Same for sales and discount. So as you see, I still have some prescripts made by Power BI, that should be there. It's just telling you, okay, so these are the columns you're working with and you're getting rid of duplicates. So again, the goal of this course is not teaching you R and Python. I just want to show there's a such option. I'm pretty sure if you already know how to work with the Python R, this should be super easy for you. So I'm just selecting the blue and red parts. Because I already have the green parts in my Power BI. So right click, copy, go to Power BI, Control V. So I'm basically importing Matplotlib, and I am importing Seaborn. I'm making a correlation and also using a heat map from a Seaborn package and just show the results. So the code looks good. On the Python editor, Python script editors, just click on play here. Wait a little bit. Yeah. Now we have correlation heat map through Power BI. We made it by Python. And similar to the correlation plot, you can do regression, you can bubble chart, every types of figures that you are be able to do through R and Python, you can do it here. Basically, Power BI, instead of making those figures by its engine, it's used R and Python engine. So you can have good of everything. So if there's a good visualization in Power BI, you can use it. If they're through Python, or you can use them too. So pause now. Maybe you know some more visualizations through R and Python. You can just try it now. But just keep in mind, you need to first drag and drop the variables. Then in this downward arrow, just click and change it to don't summarize. Because you want to work with the actual data. You don't want to just work with this mean, median, and other. So pause a little bit here, work on the figures, and then in the last part, we work with the regression by Power BI. Okay, let's look at the next challenge. So due to an incident, your company wants to shut down the operation for 5 days and train the employees to avoid similar issues in future. They ask you to estimate the next 5 days of sales and profit amounts with 95% confidence interval. So they can have an estimation of loss for the next 5 days. So actually it was a similar story, happened for Starbucks. So just Google it and you can see due to a racial bias against 2 black guys. So Starbucks company react and they said this is not tolerable, and they wanted to re-educate their employees to have a biased behavior and avoid such incidents in future. Starbucks had estimation, and I think their estimation was a loss of $12 million. But they believe that with this training and avoiding such incidents in future, maybe they can even basically attract more customers and have a better business. So again, that incident was very unethical, but this was what Starbucks company tried to react, and hopefully we never see such incidents neither in Starbucks and nor other companies. So let's see how we can do such estimations. So this could happen, this could be done through some time series based estimations. So let's just do this activity. So go through your Tableau, open new page, and let's just do estimation through a line chart. And you can do something similar too. So make a line chart for the axis. Maybe you can put the order date because we want to estimate something over time. So look at orders. So it's in the hierarchical format, year, quarter, month, and day. But here, for this kind of time series based analysis or prediction, we need to have in a continuous format. So next to the order date, just click on the arrow key and change date hierarchy to order date. And let's just work with the sales now. So for the value, I drop sales. So we want to do prediction over days. And this is like whole days from like before 2017 up to the, I think the last data point is for 2000, like at the end of 2019. So what can we do? Select this line chart, and then instead of the fields tab, go to the format tab. Just look at my mouse. I'm on the format tab. I click on it. So just select the zoom slicer and make it on. Now it's off. So now I can just zoom on the last days that I'm looking for. So I just drag this part, just take it almost the last parts of figure. Okay, sounds interesting. So let's do kind of, let's see how we can do those time series estimation. Now we're in the format tab, click on analytics tab. So do you see there's a forecast section almost at the bottom? Click on it. You press add. So we want to predict 5 days after the last data points, but just keep in mind, we also want to look at the prediction performance or forecast performance for the other days that we already have the information. So I'm just saying that, okay, 10 days of prediction or forecast, ignore the last 5, because you would see what happens. So also, I'm just saying that I want to see 95% confidence interval. It just means I want to see estimation. I want to see an estimation, which I want to be sure 95% I'm correct. So instead of looking at just one line, I'm looking for basically a range of lines that could be my possible prediction. And seasonality, I put 7. This is like some statistical concept behind of it. It just means my idea about some trend repeats. So since this is like I expect for every day of a week, I might have different sales. I'm just saying seasonality is 7 point each. But let's say you want to predict for each season. So that time your seasonality is exactly 3 months or a season. But here, my time unit is in days, and also I believe the pattern repeats every 7 days. So it's the reason I put the seasonality to 7. Again, for better understanding about seasonality, maybe you need to know some statistical background, but just keep in mind, it just shows the trend that I expect to be repeated. So I expect every Sunday I might have a difference, every Saturday or every Friday or Wednesday. So it's the reason. So since I think every 7 days I might see some similar patterns, I put seasonality to 7, confidence interval to 95. But let's check this 5 and 10. Press apply. Look what happens. Now, my prediction, instead of the last 5 points, instead of the next 5 points, I am also looking at the last 5 points. So the blue section is already the 5 points that is existed, but I'm doing a prediction to see how accurate is my forecast. So it seems it's not too bad. At least the blue line is within 95% of my possible forecast. And after that, you see it would be my estimation of daily sales in next 5 days after the last blue points, because the blue line just shows the actual sales, and the black one shows the forecast sale. I also forecasted on some points that already have the actual data, and the gray area just shows the confidence interval, just showing that what is the worst and best sales forecast in those points. Maybe you can do something for profit. So let's just click on the outside. Again, I click on the line chart. I select this time access order date, but instead of this hierarchical, I click on this arrow and select order date. Instead of value, this time I put profit. I go to the format. As you see, sometimes we have negative profit. So first I turn on the zoom slicer. I zoom on the last days. Then I go to the analytics tab, open the forecast, add a forecast. I'm saying the 10 points, but I want to ignore the last 5 points because I want to look at the prediction versus the actual value to see if this prediction looks good or not. 95% confidence interval. And this is like, since for each day of a week, which has 7 days, I expect to have different sales that is associated to the day that I'm looking at. I put the seasonality to 7. So if I believe there is a monthly pattern, monthly repeated pattern, maybe I change it to 30 points or 31. So if I think there's a seasonality repeated pattern, maybe instead of 7 or 30, I put 90 days. So press apply. Okay, this time it seems prediction is very well because my black line almost overlap on the blue line for the days that I have the actual data, and also I'm looking at the profit. So the forecasted profit is 96, 129, 290, 259, and 584. And like the last one was also 101. So with this time series-based forecast, we can predict what happens if you shut down data store for training in next 5 days. And when you look at the overlap of profit and sales with the forecasted one, you can see your model is that much good that when you use the actual data, it predicted those historical actual data. So now maybe it's reliable to use for future prediction. And it's what happens. So basically, Starbucks had something similar. So let me copy the link, go here. Yeah, it happened May 29. Yeah, read the story. And this is the apology of Starbucks to the customers. And yeah, maybe they found that if they train their employees, they can avoid such incidents. Although they may lose some money for that day that they shut down the company, but they believe that in the long term, they have they will be a more ethical company, and also maybe they can make more money. So if they can basically attract people of colors, they are customers and they pay, so they can make more money and better business. Okay, that's for this session. Just keep in mind, PowerBI is a lot wider than what I covered in this semester. You can do several great things, especially if your future company integrated with Power BI. So maybe there's a lot of options for sharing your reports with your manager or colleagues, and also you can even do some machine learning based analysis over Power BI, but it's out of the content for this course. So for the people who are doing analytics, or they want to enrich their knowledge in analytics, maybe you can learn how to do those machine learning or programming within Power BI, so you can make more advanced and informative figures. But even without them, you still can do really good visualizations, and this helps your company to make a better decision. Basically, the goal of having such intelligent tools is for making more informative decisions. Thank you very much. It was a really great semester. I put the details for how you can get bonuses by replicating the Power BI and visualizations that I taught you. If you do over Tableau or both of them, you can get extra bonus. But for basic bonus, you can just replicate what I did through Power BI. Thank you very much.